the remaining 2 charge codes even today. Started recording and sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. There we go. Yeah, so we discussed about these 4 methods, how charges can be accounted. So charges included into inventory, paid to the vendor or paid to the third party, and charges where they are not included onto the inventory, paid to a vendor and paid to a third party. 4 scenarios. So for each scenario, I've explained your accounting entry, and accordingly, we have also configured the codes, charge codes. So we were trying to apply these charge codes on the purchase order. Yesterday, I showed you how we can apply charge code on the purchase order as well as on the invoice. So today, let us see how we can again apply these charge codes or use these charge codes. And after completion of that, so we have 2 more charge codes, right? Let us try to apply those charge codes as well. After completing that, let us discuss about the automatic charge codes concept today. Yeah, we have vendor charge codes here. We have charge setup and charge code. Right. So we have 5 charges, out of which 2 of them are same. I think this packing are adding to the inventory and paid to the vendor. Freight charges also adding to the inventory and paid to the vendor. They both are same. So yesterday we have used this packing charges and transport charges. Transport charges is wherein accounted separately into a different account, not added onto the inventory, but paid to the vendor. And other than that, we have 2 other like insurance which we add to the inventory but paid to a third party vendor, and insurance which we hello, somebody is trying to say something. Sushila, is any problem? Oh, she left. Okay, let her join. So we also have another insurance wherein it is accounted separately, not added onto the inventory, also paid to a third party. Okay, she's having some network issue, I think. Okay. Today, let us try one of these charge codes first. Let us try this charge code one on one PO, and let us try this charge code on another PO and see the difference, how it is getting affected or how the accounting entries are being created. Let me use this one, insurance, which is added onto the inventory. So here you can see debiting the inventory and crediting a third party vendor account rather than third party payable account rather than onto a direct vendor account. So let us see how it works. So I will also duplicate this tab. Here in this tab, I'll create a purchase order, accounts payable, all purchase orders. Takes a while to load. By the time, what I'll do is in this tab, I'll try to load the accounts payable, all vendors. This all vendors. So which one loads first? Vendors does. So this vendor, for this vendor, I think we have done invoice which was including charges, Sahara. So let me go to the transactions here. I can see this invoice which I have done yesterday. I'll just go for show open. So this was the invoice which we have done yesterday for 1,06,100, which we have to pay to the vendor, on which we can also see the voucher. We have already seen the voucher. I pasted it in the group already, highlighting the reversing back product receipt entry and then the charges being 1,000 charges being accounted separately into transport charges and 100 charges being added onto the inventory. Here you can see 1,05,100 and total is being credited to the vendor account or to the accounts payable account, which we are liable to pay to the vendor himself. So that is why the vendor account is being showing pending amount as 1,06,100. So we have to pay the total amount on this invoice to settle the invoice. Okay, this is one way. So let us create one more PO for the same vendor. This time let us try to apply another charge code. So I'll select the vendor 2, Sahara. Okay. Select the item you want to buy from this fund. Like this I
So,
I'll
clear voice.
select
Hello.
items. Okay, I'll buy a single.
JB voice is breaking.
Breaking, sir.
Is it breaking still?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 second. Sairam, is it clear enough?
Yeah.
Yes, it is clear now.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Then see, I have created a purchase order and I've selected one item as iPhone 12 mini. Then for this product, I'll try select this product dimensions like color and configuration. Select one combo like this one. 1 second. Yeah, I select this one combination. Then I'll give some pricing. Like I'll buy 2 quantity. I'll buy and unit price is will give it is 10,000. Total of 20,000. Okay. Next, what I'll do is I'll give a charge code. So I can give a charge code at the line level or header level. It's not a problem if you give it header level or line level, since you have only one product. And if you want to add it onto the inventory, it will get added onto the single product inventory. If not, if you don't want to add it onto the inventory, it won't get. So let us use this charge code, insurance on inventory, which means which is added onto the inventory, but being credited to another third party payable account, not to this particular vendor account. Okay. Let me try to apply that charge code in the header level. Okay, for that I can go to purchase, maintain charges here. Select the charge code, insurance inventory. Yes, give the charge value. I'll give the insurance charge as $1,000. Okay. Then that's all. I'll just save it. Then I'll close this. Then what I'll do is I'll confirm the purchase order. Purchase confirm. So I have added 1,000 charges on the PO. So this is the charge code that I used. Insurance on inventory or insurance which is adding onto the inventory and paid to a third party. Takes a while to confirm. There is an error. What it is? Let's see what it. Charges have not been allocated. It's okay. I can allocate the charge, or I may not allocate the charge, right? Yeah, this is onto the inventory, right? So I have to allocate this charge. Just click on allocate charges. It allocates completely onto this line only. Yeah, allocate. So from there it moves on to the line level. Wonderful. So the charges that are adding to the inventory has to be allocated, because there can be multiple lines in a PO and which might be having different inventory accounts for different products. So if at all the header level charge is being included onto the inventory, you have to allocate it onto all the lines, so that charges will be allocated to different lines onto different inventory accounts. If you don't allocate it, system does not know, right? So to which line, how much it has to allocate, or how much has to be apportioned, or how much of charge has to be added to the inventory of which account or to the which item. So that's what system is saying here. For these kind of charge codes, which has to be added onto the inventory, you have to either apply them at the line level, or if at all you apply them at the header level for all the lines, you can use that option of allocate charges. So here I used the option of allocate according to the net amount. So net amount ratio of the line, according to the net amount ratio of the line, system will allocate. So for this line we have 20,000. Another line I have 10,000. Suppose in the 2:1 ratio, it will allocate the charges also. You can also say that equally allocate, because it will equally allocate between all the lines, or on all the lines the charges will be allocated. The one charge that I add on the header level will be added separately for each line, or allocate for each line using the option. So here I think field, because it is being allocated, so I see it is empty here, but I can see that it has moved onto the line. Go to financials, select maintain charges. I can see that 1,000 moved on to this line. If there are two lines, it would have moved on to the two lines. Same 1,000 amount will be in two parts, a portion to two lines, a single line. That's all. Then let us confirm the PO. Purchase, confirm. Confirmed. Okay. Then again, receive the goods. So in order to receive the goods, you have to click on receive and click on product receipt. So I can give a product receipt number as something like this, CRN13. Okay, then I can see the line here with two quantity into 10,000, total of 20,000. I can click on OK to receive it. Yeah, took some time, but get posted. I can see the product receipt that is being posted here. I can see CRN13, and I can also see the voucher. The voucher of this product receipt is that accrued purchase is credited for 20,000, inventory received is debited for 20,000. So it does not add the charges amount here while we do the product receipt. Either it will select any other charges or taxes or anything, it won't account here in the product receipt. In product receipt, it will take the net amount of the product. That's all. It doesn't really add all the remaining amounts. So I can see only 20,000. Now I will go and do the invoice for the same. So here I'm going to invoice and I'll click on invoice. So be ready. I will ask you the entry for the invoice once if it is posted. So what will be the entry? Prepare yourself and just tell me the entry before we see the voucher. Just give this invoice a number like SHINV 13. Invoice date as of, I'll just give Saturday's date. And here I can see two quantity 10,000 and 20,000. I can click on update my status. Before that, you can also check if that particular charge code is appearing onto the invoice or not. So you can verify it just by clicking here on totals. Click on totals here. You can see subtotal amount 20,000 only, but you don't see anything else. Any idea why it is showing only 20,000 here in the invoice? Anyone? But not that charge amount. See, charges it is showing as empty. No, it's not about posting actually. See, this invoice that we are doing is for this vendor Sahara. Okay. The charge code we have here is not crediting the vendor. It is crediting any other third party vendor or any other payables account. So system will not consider this in this particular invoice, but it will post and it will also add in the voucher, but it will not consider it here in the totals of the invoice because vendor will send us this invoice only with 20,000 amount. He will not add any charges because those that charges are not related to vendor. That charges are somewhere related to a third party person, but we somehow want to include them onto this particular trade or relate them to this particular purchase order or this invoice. So that voucher will be included, but the total amount will not be included here. But if at all the charges that if we are liable to pay those charges to the same vendor that we are creating the invoice for, then the charge amount will show up here because we are liable to pay the subtotal amount plus charges amount totally to the same vendor, right? So it will show up here in the totals. Since we are here for this charge code, we have to pay to another vendor or outside payables account rather than the accounts payable account. So system is not considering it on the total here. That's all. But still it will account and post the voucher. So for that we can check that charge code if it is added or not. I can select the line here, click on financials, maintain charges. You can see here under charges. And you can see inventory, insurance inventory is added 10,000 charges are added here onto the PO, sorry, onto the invoice line as well. Okay. Enough. I somehow update the match status once again since we have done some action. So it is passed and I can post it. Now tell me what will be the accounting entry of this invoice excluding the product receipt entry. So we have one inventory to be debited and vendor or accounts payable account to be credited. And what else will be affected and how much amount will be affected for these accounts.
Third
Debit
party
is
will be
21,000.
credited.
Okay, one second. Let Saidip take the charge. Yeah, tell me, Saidip.
Debit is 21,000.
Inventory is 21,000. Okay.
Accounts payable 20,000.
Accounts payable credited for 20,000. Okay.
Insurance 1,000.
Insurance or
One.
insurance payable. So it should always say payable because it's a liability account. Yeah. So you're saying insurance payable, debit or credit? Debit or credit? Insurance payable
Credit.
account.
Credit JP.
It is credited for
1000.
1000. So this is Saidip's opinion. Sairam, what do you say?
Yeah, right.
Sairam also feel it is right, but somehow I'm not feeling it right. Anybody else have any other opinion? Srinivas or Sheshu? What do you think? Sushila, what do you think? Sushila is not talking. Okay. Santosh, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this entry?
Hello?
Yeah, Santosh.
Yes, bro. I'll go with the same thing.
Okay. So let's see. Then all of us are stick to this entry only. Then I also will stick back to this entry. We'll see what happened with this invoice. See, this invoice is posted. I can see. So it headed me back to the PO where I can see the PO status changed to invoiced. I can go to the invoice and I can go to the invoice journal. Here I can go to the voucher. Here, exclude this 20,000. Exclude this 20,000 account and this 20,000 account. Focus on this one. So accounts payable account is credited for 20,000. Finished goods inventory or inventory invoiced account is debited for 21,000. And insurance payable account is created for another 1,000. It's the same as we were thinking. Inventory debited for 21,000, accounts payable for 20,000, insurance payable for 1,000. This one inventory for 21,000, accounts payable for 20,000 and insurance payable for 1,000. The middle one for 20,000 is just the product receipt reversal entry. Okay, so why I'm stressing so much on this accounting entries is that it's a compulsory question in interview. It's not just about interview. See, if you are doing an action, this is what the outcome is. So as a finance functional consultant, you have to clearly understand the outcome and have it in mind. So that is why I'm stressing more on these entries. So clear, guys. So your opinion is correct, or the entry that you have said is correct. Good job, Saidip, Santosh, Sairam. Then let us see. This invoice is posted, right? I'm going to vendor transactions here. I'll just refresh them. So for this vendor only we have posted, right? Sahara. See, let me refresh it. I can see that I am liable to pay to the vendor only 20,000 on the invoice. Why it is showing only 20,000? Any idea?
Because we need to
remaining
pay only
1000 we are
20,000.
paying to third party.
Correct. So we pay only 20,000 against that invoice to this vendor. That 1,000 amount will be showing up in our liabilities like insurance payable 1,000 in the credit. So we somehow have to make another journal ledger entry for the payment of that insurance payable. So insurance payable will be debited, bank account or cash account will be credited again when we pay it. If you pay to the vendor, it is also kind of same entry, right? Accounts payable will be debited and bank account will be credited. The same way insurance payable will be debited and bank account will be created when we pay that insurance payable amount. So that we will pay in a journal entry or another payment entry, normal payment entry. But here we'll normally settle this invoice through a vendor payment journal, this 20,000. That 1,000 we can settle it in another journal or another payment. Okay, so that's all we have about this one. So you can identify the difference of what happens when we do not account it onto the inventory. Okay. No, I mean, sorry, when we include it into the inventory, but do not account it onto the vendor, and when we have to maintain a separate payables account, this is how the effect will be. So there is another charge code here,
JP,
which is having, yeah,
can you show me how we settle that?
we settle what?
That payable, insurance payable.
How we settle that insurance payable? It's simple. I told you, right? Normal journal only you will do. That's all.
Okay.
So usually now it is credited, right? So if you want to settle it, you have to debit it. That's all in the journal. and you will credit your cash account or bank account since you have to pay the money out. Got it?
Okay, okay.
That's all. You don't have a separate place for that. You can pay it through normal journal only. So just for vendor payment, since we have vendor payment journal, in that way we don't have it, but you can pay it normally through there, to the journal. And other than that, what else we have? The fourth charge code. Yeah, I'm not explaining this. I want you guys to try this fourth charge code about how this is not added onto the inventory. Here it will not add to the inventory, neither it will not add to the vendor. So we will get two separate accounts. One for insurance expenses, one for insurance payable. Insurance expense will be debited, insurance payables will be credited. That will be the additional entry along with the invoice entry. Okay, I showed it to you right yesterday. This is the entry. Inventory 10,000, vendor 10,000. This is for original amount of goods. Charge code will be accounted like this. Insurance expense debited for 100. Third party liability or insurance payable account created for 100. So this will be the additional entry we'll get when we post the invoice. So configure the charge code in this manner and try to use it on a purchase order and let me know if you face any difficulties. I want you guys to just try this and post that particular voucher in the group here in the chat box like we do normally. Just take a snapshot of that and just post that voucher here in the group so that it will prove that you have completed your assignment. Try it, guys. I want you to seriously try this one. Okay. Agreement with that, all of you?
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Sir.
Then let us try some. Let's see what we left because I know what has to be taken next. Actually, it's automatic charge codes concept we have. Accounts, no, not this one. Yeah, automatic charge codes is one option we have. So let me explain you what is automatic charge codes. So we have now seen how charge codes will be added to the purchase orders or invoices. You have seen already. So there is also a configuration where we can automatically assign charge codes to one particular vendor. Whenever we are doing PO to that vendor on that particular PO, that charge code will be assigned and charge amount also will appear automatically. Or for a particular product, whenever we are buying that product, automatically a charge will be applied to that product, like packing charges or some other charges which are mandatory. Regardless of the vendor we are buying it from, if you buy it from any vendor, for that particular item, the charge can be included. So there are these automatic charges which we can configure either for the vendor or for the item. So if you buy it from the vendor, charge code will be applicable for the PO because you are buying it from the vendor. So it can be like transport charges. If the vendor will deliver the goods, maybe any number of goods or any goods, vendor will always charge a transport charge of $100. So we can link the charge code automatically to the vendor. So whenever we are creating any PO for the vendor, automatically transport charge code will be applied to the PO. $100 transport charge code will be applied to the PO regardless of the items we select. In the same way, for item specific charge codes also we can give. Whenever we buy iPhone, we'll automatically get a charge amount, packing charge amount of 100 or 1000. We can select like that. So how we can configure this automatic charges or how we can link it and how that affects when we do a PO, we'll see now. You got the point, right? Automatic charges, all of you.
Yes.
Wonderful. Other than Sairam, can I hear any other S from anyone? Did you understand what I said about automatic charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Saideep.
Yes, JP.
Okay. So then let's go for accounts payable here. Okay, thank you. In accounts payable under charges setup only, I have certain things here like vendor charges group I have, item charge group I have, and automatic charges I have. These three setups are mandatory for configuring automatic charges. So it's a very small setup vendor charge group. There won't be any complication in this. I'll just create one vendor charge group. See how I'll create it. Here, go to vendor charges group. Okay, click on new. Click on 01. I'll just give it as vendor transport charges. The group name is vendor transport charges. That's all I'll give. I don't give. I can create many more groups if I want, but I'm creating only one group, vendor transport charges. So that's all we have in vendor charges group. Then I'll go for the second one, item charges group. Here I can go to item charges group and I can select the same kind of one. Here I'll select one. Packing charges or something else, select like this. Okay. I can select 01 or I could have given another name. I'll just change this back. Okay. I'll just give new. I'll just give it as 11 just to be different from the vendor charge group. Okay. Item packing charges. Just I created one vendor charge group and one item charge group. So these charge groups that we create usually link to the automatic charges as well as we can link it to the vendor and the item. So let's see how this linkage works. So let me create automatic charges here. This one, third step. So now I'll ask you a question. Let me just tell me the question. In how many areas on a purchase order we can add charges?
Line level, header level.
Correct.
Two.
So on line level and on header level, we can add the charges to areas. Correct. So here also we can give charges in the same way. Which charges had to be added onto the header level, or if there is any automatic charge for the line level, we can give it here in the line. Or if it is in the header level, I can give it in the header. So here you can select header and line. So accordingly, you can give the automatic charge codes. First, let me select the header. Okay, header. Click on new. If I am selecting at the header level means there won't be any item selection criteria. It is means it may be any item, but I'm giving charges on the header level, right? So there won't be any item criteria. It is only a vendor criteria for which particular vendor you are giving this charge code. So it is on header means mostly it will be transport charges. Mostly it will be transport charges. OK. So here you can select table means you can select a single vendor for whom this charges is applicable. Or you can select a group of vendors for whom these charges are applicable or this automatic charges is applicable. See here, I can select a vendor relation. Vendor relation is vendor transport charges group we have created. It is not vendor group here like domestic group or foreign group. Vendor transport charges group is what I have. Now if I go to vendors and for every vendor or for the vendors that this automatic charge is applicable, I'll give this charges group to the vendor as 01. I have that option on all vendors page. See here, all vendors. Oh, here I have 3 vendors, right? Suppose let me go for the Sahara vendor. Let me expand all and edit. Let me go for charges group. Here you can see under purchase order, I can see charges group. Here I can see vendor transport charges group. If I link this charges group here, then for this vendor automatic charge will be added. So that's what we are configuring here, right? Automatic charge that will be applicable for this vendor. If I go to another vendor and in the same place, I'll give the same group. So for 2 vendors, now automatic charges will be applicable. Whenever we do any purchase order for these 2 vendors, automatically on the purchase order, this header charges will be included. Automatic charges. So which charge code has to be included, how much has to be included, we still have to configure. So here we still have to configure that part. But this is how it works. If at all I select group and if I select a vendor transport charges group here, and if I go and give that group to each vendor, again I have to give it to the each vendor. If only I give to the vendor, then only for those vendors it will be applicable, charge will be. Then is also another criteria that I can select table means I can select a single vendor here rather than if I select single vendor means then it is only for that vendor. No other vendors. It will not applicable for any other vendor. This automatic charge will be only for one vendor. If I select group means I can give that charge vendor 01 charges group here, and then you can link the same charges group to multiple vendors for whom the automatic charges will be applied or applicable. Got it, guys? The logic here, all of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then I have another criteria, all also. If I select all means, then what? Any guess?
All the vendors.
Correct. It's applicable to all the vendors. To select any of the vendor, you do a purchase order, always this charge will be applied, or this automatic charge will be applied on the PO header level. Okay. So I'll select a group of vendors. Okay. Since we have created this vendor transport group, if you don't want to select any group of vendor, then no need to create this vendor charges group also. Not needed. Only if you are selecting it, then only we have to create that vendor charge group that we have created right earlier, like that. So here I can go to, and for this vendor Sahara, I just gave that group 01. Okay. Then, so if I, here we have given the criteria only, but we did not give what should be the charge code, how much amount of charge has to be automatically added. We did not give. So if I save it here, click on save, then I can see this option automatically being enabled, which is asking me what is the currency of the charge. You can select any currency. So currency of charge is US dollar and I'm not changing it. So what is the charge code that you want to apply automatically? You can select the charge code. I'll select this transport charge code here, which is not adding on to inventory, but paid to the vendor. So remember this one, not adding to the inventory, but paid to the vendor. I'm selecting this transport charge code. Okay, you can again select fixed or pieces or percentage or intercompany percent or proportional, something we have. I'll select fixed. How much charge? $100 of charge. Here I gave $100 of charge. I can save it. So now whenever I create any purchase order for that vendor, automatically this charge code will be applied onto the purchase order from now. Okay, that's all. This is how we create a automatic charge code at the header level. You can also create one more if you want to, and you can create one more group for a different section of vendors. So you can create vendor group number 2, vendor charges group number 2, and you can link it to another few vendors. For that, you can create another new automatic charge code and give another charge code so that for those vendors, when you do PO, that particular charge will be applied. For this, for the group to, for the vendors for which we have assigned this group 01, for them this charge code will be applied. In that way, we can categorize or differentiate. Clear with the logic, all of you, or any confusion? If you have any doubts, just ask me now. Sairam,
Can you repeat, sir?
repeat from where?
From group.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, see, this charge code will be applied to the vendors for whom this vendor charge group is added. So here we have linked vendor charge group to this automatic charge. Again, for vendors, for one vendor, I have given the charge group as 01. For another vendor also, I'll give the charge group as 01 only. So for these two vendors, this automatic charge will apply. Whenever we do purchase order, this automatic charge will apply. But for another set of vendors, I want another charge code, not this charge code, a different charge code. For that, what I'll do is I'll create one more vendor group like 02. For the 02, I'll create another new automatic charge like this on the header level only. Again, I'll select group, but here I'll select 02. I'll select 02 and I'll add that 02 to different set of vendors for whom I want this different charge code. I'll link that 02 to other vendors and give the charge code details here, so that whenever I do purchase order for that vendors, this new charge code or this particular charge code that I give in this group will get applied. Okay.
JP, I have a doubt.
Yes.
In case of third-party charges, can we give it here?
So in case of third-party charges, also you can give it here.
Okay.
But still, you know, it will not include it onto your vendor, but it will, the entry will be posted.
Okay.
Just that you can drop down and you can select the insurance one, right? Insurance third party one you have. The same will be applied. Okay. Mostly on the header level, they'll select those charge codes which are not implied onto the inventory, not added to the inventory, which are accounted to a separate account like transport expenses, insurance expenses, where expense account is debited instead of inventory account, those kind of charges they will give in the header level. Otherwise, you might have to allocate the charges once again. You have to use that option in the header level. Under maintain charges, you have allocate charges, right? After creating lines, you have to click on allocate charges if at all it is being added onto the inventory. Remember that point. So I'll just change it back to transport charges. Okay. So this is for header level. So for items, I can't change anything because there is no relation to items for this kind of charges because these are added onto the header. If it is added onto the header means it's a header level charge regardless of whatever the item is there in the line. Okay, so that is why I don't have any item criteria selection. If it is clear, we can go and discuss about the line level charge code, automatic charge code at the line level. Is it clear for all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also add more charge codes also here, just like if you add one and then add another charge code. You can add multiple charge codes also. So all, well, how many ever you add here, all of them will be added to the PO header level automatically. Not a single one, but if you have multiple charges will be added to the PO header level. There is that option. I just removed that. I only use one charge code for now, for not to complicate it. So now, if I want to create an automatic charge code for line level, I can do it from here only, but I want to select this criteria to line. If I select line for our line level, I don't see any charge code, automatic charge code. I have to configure one. So for that, I'll click on new here. Again, it asks me the criteria. Is it for single vendor or is it for group of vendors with a vendor group selection? Vendor transport code I can give, and in the same logic, you can to whichever vendors you assign the charge group, for those this line level will be applicable. Okay, and or all the vendors, you can select all the vendors. Okay, I'm selecting all the vendors. Again, if you select one vendor or few vendors or all vendors, so you have to select to put to which particular item this is applicable. See, I have table again here. I can select item to which particular item this charge is applicable because this is for line level, right? If it is for line level, we definitely have to select one of the item or a set of items for which this charge code has to be applicable. So here I can select either one item or I can select a group of items. So how this group logic works is in the same way. I can select that item packing charges group here. And if I have to go to the item master or product master where we have created products, and I have to give this item charge group to that product. So where we have to give it, I'll show you here. So just like for the vendor, we have given charge group, right? In the same way, for product also we can give charge group. So it is under released products. So it takes a while to load. So that's how, or else I can give for all items, which means for all vendors, for all items, this kind of packing charges or any other charges can be applied here. But not always the charges will be applied to all lines, right? All items are not packed or all items are not specially maintained. There will be few items that are specially maintained. You can select that single item or those group of items. So if I select group of items means I can give this item model, item charge group as 11. And going to products, for one of the product, let us select this iPhone 12. Here I'll open it. Just click on it and it will open the master of the master data is here. I can just expand all, edit this, go for Control F since we don't know where it is. So I'll just go for charge. So here I can see charges group for purchase order. Under purchase order, I can see charges group where I can give item charges group. Here you see this 11 item charge group. So if I'm linking it to this product and here also in the charge code, I'm linking that group. So now automatically that product is linked to this particular charge code. Whenever I select that product for buying, automatically this charge will be applied. Whatever I give the charge code here will be applied. May it be any vendor because I am applying it for all vendors, right? And I can also select it for a specific vendor too if I want to. But here I gave criteria as all vendors. So for any For any of the vendor, if I create a purchase order, and if I'm buying the items that are linked with this item charge group, like 11 here, and in the released products, I linked it to one item only. So if I'm buying this item, automatically charge will be applied at the line level. Or if I link it to two items, so for whenever I buy those two items from any of the vendor at the line level, I can see this charge that we are going to configure. That is the logic. Clear, guys? Any confusion? We'll just give the charge code here, like packing charges, because mostly for items we only have packing charges. I'll just give $50 and save. So from any of the vendor, if I buy the items that are linked with this item charge group, so I'll have $50 of packing charge. So how many items that I have linked is only one item. For now, I have linked here. If it is only one item, then I can also select like table and that item number, but somehow I want to show you this group, how it works, how the relation works. Okay, if it is clear, we will now create a P1, try to apply these automatic charges. So we don't apply, it will only automatically apply. Clear, guys, both of them, header level and line level. You can create multiple of them for different vendors or vendor groups, or you can create multiple charge groups, vendor charge groups or item charge groups to link different items for different charges. Okay, clear for all of you. Any doubts in this? Sairam, Saideep. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, if it is clear, then let us try to create a new purchase order and try to apply all these things. So let me go for new purchase order here. I'll select that vendor for which we have header level charges, as well as I'll select that product we have for which we have line level charges. I'll select both of them. So I'm selecting the vendor Sahara here. And I'll give a site and warehouse like 1 and 11. Click on OK. So here I can select one item. Before I select item, I'll just go to purchase here, click on maintain charges to see if the charge code is brought up or not. See, I don't have any charge code at here. Let's see, let's select one item first and we'll come back once again. So I'll just give an item like iPhone 12 mini again here. You can see, right? Then I'll select this configuration, color and configuration. I'll select it as black and 256 GB. I'll select two quantity, which is each one for 15,000, total of 30,000, and I'll save it. Now for the line level, what should be the charge if at all we are selecting this product?
$50.
$50 as packing charges, right? Line level, $50 as packing charges. So I'm going to PO line here, select the line, click on financials, click on maintain charges here to see the charge code that is applied or not. Well, it's not applying the charge code. If we do something wrong, let me check. I have saved this. Okay. I have also given to the vendor, right? Automatically the charge group already. I gave the charges group. Yes. Okay. For released product also here I give the charges group. Okay. Other than this, charges percentage is not needed for selling, for foreign trade. Manage cost posting charges also not needed. Charge group I have linked already. Yeah. What happened? Why it's not bringing then? I don't think we have any other setup for automatic charges. Do we? Let me check. Yeah. Procurement and sourcing parameters. So here we don't see anything in general. Mhm. Thing as in here, delivery, generate charges on product receipt. No, we are not using it. Yep, find auto charges for header, find auto charges for line. We have these two parameters here actually. So these two parameters has to be enabled. If at all we have to get those details. So here I can see here in procurement and sourcing parameters, which will be under setup again in this module. Under prices, I can see find charges for header, find auto charges for line, find auto charges for header, and find auto charges for line. So I'll just save this. So these two are the parameters that will automatically guide. Even though we create that automatic charge codes without enabling this parameters, see it was not working when we created this PO. Well, let's go back and create one more PO again. Okay, just enable that parameters now, right? So here I'll just save it and close this as well. Now I'll create a PO for the same vendor, Sahara, site 1, warehouse 11. Click on OK. Then I'll select this item, same item iPhone. Give this color combination as the same 256 GB. Then quantity as 2. Unit price as 15,000. So total is 30,000. Now let us see the line level charge if it is added or not. Select the line, click on financials, click on maintain charges. So now you can see packing charges of 50 being added here. Okay, automatically added to the line since we have selected this product and this product is linked to that particular line charge with the group code, item charge group code. So it's 11 we have assigned there as well as to the product in the product master. Let's go to the header level. Since for this vendor we have given that charge rate automatic charges header level, we have linked this vendor with the vendor charge group. So how do we see the charges on the header level? Anyone? How do you
Click on
verify?
purchase.
Okay, click on purchase. Yes. And
Maintain charges.
yeah, under charges we have maintain charges. Click on maintain charges and see that transport charges code for $100 automatic charge code is applied onto the PO automatically. Clear guys, how the automatic charges are populating onto the PO. Now if I do the PO normal process only, but these charge codes also will get automatically accounted as is. Like according to the nature of the charge code, how it has to be debited and credited. In the same way, the amount will be debited and credited to the respective accounts. Either if it has to be accounted onto inventory, it will add up to the inventory. If it is for the vendor, it will add to the vendor, or if it is for a third party, it will add to a third party accordingly. This is how we give automatic charge codes or configure them to use them populating onto them populating them onto the purchase orders. Clear for all of you? Any confusion? No, right? Yes or no? Anything? Tell me.
No.
Yeah, this needs a little bit of effort, understanding logic and practice. So if you do that, you will also get it into hand, no problem. So I'll just confirm the PO and you can do the other process. I mean posting the PO and all. I'll show you one example here. I confirmed the PO, but I'm skipping the step of product receipt. I can also do that. There are clients who doesn't follow the product receipt step. But if you post product receipt, the inventory entry will be posted and the financial accrual entry also will be posted. Without posting the product receipt, actually the inventory entry will not be posted. Only upon doing invoice, the inventory entry will be posted. I can also do that. So I'm not receiving it. See, I'm not posting product receipt. I'm directly posting invoice here. You can see invoice, right? Click on invoice. Here, when I post invoice, I don't see any reversal of reversal entry for product receipt because product receipt is not posted, right? So I can give it as invoice number 14. Invoice date as of Sunday or Monday. I'll use Monday. Okay. Click on update my status. Passed, and I can post it. See, I can see. I can't see any lines here. Why? Yep. If I post it, it is wrong. Without lines, so I can't post any invoice, right? But why it is showing without any lines? Any idea for anyone? Any guesses? Look from top to bottom
We have
on
not
the
done
screen.
receipt.
Okay, we have not done product receipt. Okay. If we don't do product receipt, then if I want to invoice the PO quantity, how I can do it?
Click on inventory.
Inventory. Here.
I think.
So it is because this one. Purchase order lines or sorry, invoice lines are defaulted from product receipt quantity. So system is automatically defaulting the invoice lines from product receipt quantity. It is not showing anything because we did not do product receipt and product receipt quantity is 0. So it shows empty here. Here what I can do is I can drop down this, deselect this product receipt quantity and select the ordered quantity. Ordered quantity means the quantity that we mentioned on the purchase order. Click on OK. Then system will automatically bring those lines of PO to the invoice. See here, the line from PO with to quantity and net amount, everything is brought up here. So it's because this one default. Mostly when you do product receipt, you will default it from product receipt only. But when you don't do it, there is no point that you will give default from product receipt here because product receipt quantity will be empty. And if you want to do invoice for the PO quantity, you have to select the ordered quantity here other than product receipt quantity. Okay. Then I can also see the charges automatically bringing here onto the invoice as well. 50. So let us think that I have charged 50 or I assumed that automatic charge is 50. But what vendor did is he charged $60, not $50. So then I can change this on as 60. Once after sending the invoice, on the invoice I have noticed that vendor have mentioned the charges as 60, not 50. So here I've changed the charges value to 60 from 50 and I'll save it. On the invoice I can edit anytime, anything. And on the header level also I can see the here under financials I can see the charges in the header level as well. Maintain charges. I can see transport charges as 100. Let us assume that vendor charged only $80 as transport charges, not 100. So I have reduced it to 80. I can do it on invoice and I can go back. Then now if I see the totals here, I see 30,000 as the net amount. 2 iPhones, 15,000 each of 30,000. Charges is 140 only. 80 transport charges plus 60 packing charges, total of 140. And total invoice amount is 30,140 because both these charges are accounted to the vendor account only. We have to pay to the vendor only. That is why it is showing as invoice amount as 30,140. If you are not paying to the vendor, or if you are paying this 140 to any third party payables account, then invoice amount will show as 30,000 only here. The third party payables will not show up in this totals of invoice. Okay. Like earlier we have seen already. So here I can close this and now I can click on update my status once again. It will show as failed because I think there is one parameter of charges matching. 1 second. Accounts payable parameters, invoice validation, enable invoice matching validation, but charges matching is turned off, right? So let us see where it is failed. Failed as in We don't have a product receipt at all, so I'll just disable this matching validation only. Then what happens, we'll see. Go to the same vendor invoice. I'll just click on update match status this time. So it is still showing as failed. Let us see review matching details. So this will be our next concept in our class, actually, matching policies, which is very, very important. So where it is failed, price level, it is passed. Quantity level, it is failed. Yeah, we don't have product receipt quantity, right? So that is why it is failed. Invoice totals also passed. For that, what we can do is we can go back. Don't have any setup here. Price match is passed, but this is failed. Let's see what happens. System will anyway click on failed. It's still showing failed, but let me try to post it and see if it works or not. Yeah, it is posted, even though it is failed, but still it is posted because we don't have that validations enabled. Now we can see the invoice here. Go to invoice journals. Invoice number 14 is posted, and I can go to the voucher. See in the voucher, I can see, ignore this account raw material receipts. So just see these three entries. Finished goods inventory is accounted for 30,060. Why it is 30,060? What is being added to this?
Packing charges.
Correct. Packing charges. We have charge code packing charges, which has to be added to the inventory. That is why the $60 of packing charges are added to the inventory. 30,000 plus 60. And transport charges are accounted separately because we gave a separate ledger account as transport charges for it in the charge code. So that $80 are accounted to transport charges. Then accounts payable account is created for total amount of $30,140. So we are liable to pay to the vendor 30,140, out of which 30,000 for the products, 60 for the inventory, 80 for the 80 for the transport charges. I mean 60 for the packing charges which are added onto the inventory, and 80 for the transport charges. That's all. Clear this voucher for all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. See here, we don't see the product receipt entry because we do not do any product receipt, right? We did not post the initial entry. If it is not posted, it won't get reversed here. That's all. This is clear. Yes, we can go ahead and close this topic. And that would be all for today's class. In the next class, we'll discuss about quite few more things. Invoice validations. After that, we'll discuss this prepayment mechanism, or first we can discuss prepayment, credit note, and then we can discuss invoice validations, then inquiries and reports. It takes another 4 classes for completion of accounts payable. At least 3 to 4 classes, not more than that. So if you have any doubts, you can stay back and ask. If not, we can drop off, guys. That would be all for today. I'll just stop this recording until here.